Hello students and welcome to the lecture. So students, as we know that we are covering the financial knowledge and the banking awareness part of it, and basically right now we have started the discussion over on the topic known as types of banks. Okay, like what are the types of banks and how they are differentiated from each other and what are their specific role to be performed so that they could be inserted in such kind of banking nature. All right, and basically in the previous lecture we had completed the commercial banks, okay, in which we had discussed in detail the public banks and the private banks, right? How they are differentiated from each other, what is their structure, organizational structure, you can say, okay, what is their ownership structure, and other things we had discussed in detail. So I think that you have revised the lecture before you have come for this lecture, as I have already told you it is for your own benefit. Okay, so basically let's move forward. Now we are going to cover with the regional rural banks, RRB. Okay, regional rural banks. So let's start the topic. First is the general introduction to the regional rural banks. Okay, so the regional rural banks are a specialized category of banks in India that were established to promote financial inclusion and provide banking services to rural and semi-urban areas. RRBs plays a crucial role in extending financial services to the unbanked and underbanked population in these regions. Okay, so if we try to understand the general definition of the RRBs, then what we will find? First thing is that they are the specialized category. Okay, specialized category. Second, were established to promote the financial inclusions. Okay. Third, providing banking services to the rural and the semi-urban areas. Okay, that is the general definition of regional banks and the main highlighted points. So you can write down the main highlighted points are: first is they are of the specialized category. Second point is they are mainly established for promoting the financial inclusion. Okay. Third point is that they are serving population of rural and semi-urban areas. Okay, so these are the three main points which we have derived from the general introduction of regional rural banks. Okay, now let's move forward. First thing is the establishment and the regulatory framework. Okay, so the RRBs were established under the Regional Rural Banks Act 1976. Okay, all right. So basically, the RRBs were established under the Regional Rural Banks Act 1976. So 1976 is basically the establishing year. All right. So what happened behind it? That's the main point we should discuss. Okay, like how the regional rural banks came into the existence. This is a complete, you can say, the procedure, complete need of the time, and this is the committee which recommended the formation of this kind of thing. Okay, so the question is, which committee recommended RRBs? Okay, so that basically the committee was Narasimhan Committee. 1976. 6. Okay, so that was the committee which recommended the formation of a specialized bank in some specialized areas for the meeting of the need of the time. And these banks were known as the regional rural banks. Got it? So the first thing you should remember is the establishment year. Okay. Second thing you should remember, which committee recommended the formation? Narsim committee recommended the formation. Okay. And the name was regional rural banks. Alright. Second thing is the act. So it means that they are the statutory body. Why? Because I have told you whenever an act for something has been passed and thereafter the thing established, the thing will always be the statutory body. Alright. So with the primary objective of creating the banking needs of rural and the semi-urban areas. Alright. Now, if we move forward, what we will find, the ownership of RRBs is shared among three entities: the Government of India, the concerned state government, and the sponsor bank. Alright. It means that if this is the bank called XYZ and this is the regional rural bank. Okay. So what are the three entities who could have their shares, who could have their stakes in the XYZ? So basically there are three main entities. The first is the central government. Okay. Second is the state government. And the third is a sponsored bank. Okay, these are the three main entities. And remember, the state government, which having the stakes in the XYZ, will always be the government of the concerned state. Here the concerned state refers to the state in which the bank is established. Alright. Suppose if XYZ is established in state A. Okay. And there is also a state B. So in certain cases or in such kind of cases, only state A will have a stake in XYZ. Because the XYZ lies in the territorial boundaries of the state A. And the state B will not have any ownership rights in the XYZ. So keep this thing in your mind. Alright. Thereafter comes the sponsored bank. A sponsored bank is the bank which is basically funding or managing the regional rural banks. Okay. And this could be either a nationalized bank, or you can say the public bank, or either the private bank authorized by the government to take a ownership, or you can say to take the stakes in the XYZ or any regional rural bank. Okay. So these are the three main entities which having the stakes and shares in the regional rural banks. Got it? Thereafter, if we move forward, the Reserve Bank of India and the National Bank for Agricultural and Rural Development, in short NABARD, regulate and supervise RRBs to ensure compliance with the statutory and regulatory requirements. Okay, so because RRBs comes under the banking sector, and banking sector in India is basically governed by the Banking Regulation Act 1949, right? And if we go by the BRA Act 1949, what we will have? The regulatory body to govern the banking sector is Reserve Bank of India. Alright. So by the virtue of the BRA, Reserve Bank of India is the regulatory authority. Okay. But when we comes to the NABARD, which stands for the National Bank for Agricultural and Rural Development. Okay, so basically NABARD is established to maintain the efficiency of development phase by financing the development phase in the agricultural and the rural sector. And if we go by the definition of the regional rural banks, what we will have? They are specially established for semi-urban areas and rural areas. Okay, so by virtue of this, NABARD also having the regulatory control over these things. All right, so that's how we have the two main regulatory body on the RRBs. Got it? So you can say Reserve Bank of India is the supreme authority to control the banking sector. Then comes the NABARD, which is maintaining the banking in the regional areas or rural areas. Then comes the RRB or the regional rural banks. So this is the hierarchy chart. Okay. Hierarchy chart. Got it? Now, if we move forward, so let's move forward. Thereafter, now we have the ownership structure. Okay. When we were discussing about the commercial banks in the previous lecture, we were discussing about the commercial banks in the previous lecture. Okay. So we have discussed that these are the two types of banks. Public. Second one was private. Okay. And how we could say the public and the private banks different from each other? How we could do this? By examine the ownership structure. It means that who is holding the maximum stakes. In the case of public banks, the maximum stakes were holding by the government. Okay. In the private banks, the maximum stakes were holding by the private player. All right. That's how we decided the ownership. Okay. So one thing which I also told you is that every organization has having the stakes formation to decide the ownership. Right. That's we have discussed in the previous lecture. All right. And you can say the entity which having the maximum stakes will be declared as a owner because it's having maximum ownership in that organization. All right. So similarly, if we come to the regional rural banks, then we had discussed that there are three main entities. Three main entities which are having their place in the regional rural banks ownership. The first is the central government. The second is the state government of the concerned state. And what do you mean by the concerned state? I have told you. And the third is the sponsored bank. Right? So if these three entities having their stakes or having their ownership in the regional rural banks, then they all will must have their shares in the 100% stakes of the bank, of the RRB you can say. Right? So what is the ratio of their stakeholding? If we go by this, then the government of India, also known as the central governments, holds the 50% stakes. Okay. The concerned state governments holds the 15% of stake and the sponsored bank holds the 35% of stake. All right. So if we go by this, okay, for central government, for state government, for sponsored bank, central government holding 50%, state government holding 15%, sponsored bank holding 35%. Now examine the stakeholding ratio. Who should be declared as the owner? If we go by this, the owner will be the central government. Why? Because they are holding the maximum stakes, okay, in the RRB. So you can say, if the RRB having rupees 100 crores as the capital present with it, then it means 50 crores alone has been invested by the central government, 15 crores has been invested by the state governments, and 35 crores will be invested by the sponsored bank. Okay, so remember this thing also. The ownership structure ensures that the RRBs have a regional focus, with the state and the central governments having stake their operations. Okay, because central and state holds the ownership, so they could direct the RRB to do work in the favor of the people. Okay, to implement the various welfare schemes of the central or the state government. Okay, to grant a subsidized loan. All right, to give the good amount of interest on the deposit. So all these things could be done by the ownership structure of the RRBs. All right. RRBs are primarily focused on serving rural and the semi-urban areas, which are often undeserved by the traditional commercial banks. All right. Now, come back to our favorite dialogue. And what is that? No one is more greedy than a bank. Right? This is our favorite dialogue. Got it? So, if we talk about the bank, then the bank generally prefer two types of things: deposits and loans. Okay, and they generally prefer the people or the areas who will provide them the deposit so that they could provide the loans. Okay, because if they have the deposit, they will have a capital, and if they are providing the loans, they will be earning the interest as their income. Okay, so if we go by the rural areas, then most of the rural areas, people do not have any bank account. Okay, it is a common thing, you can observe it. All right. However, post 2016, due to Jan Dhan Yojana, there is a significant rise in holding of the bank accounts by the rural people. Okay, but in general, still many areas are such areas where people do not having any bank account. So if they do not having any bank account, they are not in the list of the depositor. It means that the bank will not have a capital. Okay, and however, if bank still manages to acquire the capital from you can say sponsored bank, central government, or whatever they have. Okay, so they will try to lend out it on loans so that they could earn the interest. All right, and the interest should be higher. The more the interest, the more the income of the bank. This is their primary focus. All right, so if we go by the rural areas or the semi-urban areas, where mainly the people resides who having the marginalized workers, okay, who are the agricultural laborers, who are the farmers, so these people could not afford taking a loan at the higher interest rate. Okay, it means that they are not beneficial in terms of the banks, right? So generally, bank do not prefer to go to the rural and semi-urban areas. Why? I have told you, because they are not getting what they have expected, or what they are required. All right, so that's why they ignored it. But main aim of the government is the financial inclusion, right? It means that we have to include each and every person of the country to be part of the economy or the banking structure for the better management and the utilization of the resources, right? So that's why with the establishment of regional rural banks in the 1976, their operational area was designed or defined as the semi-urban areas and the rural areas, which are undeserved. It means that the traditional commercial banks do not prefer them to open their branches because they may not get an appropriate deposit to be the part of the capital, or even if they manage it, they will not get a people to get the loan on the high interest rate. Okay, so that's why RRBs are the main source of banking business in these areas. All right. They operate through a network of branches and extension counters in these regions, making banking services more accessible to the local population. Okay, it means that if this is an entire area, okay, and the RRB is here, then it means that the people of far places will not be able to reach it easily. That's why the RRB could open its branches in the areas so that the people who are living nearby the main branch or living far away from the main branch could have access to the other branches as well. All right. Thereafter comes the objectives. Like what are the objectives? Why the Narasimhan Committee in 1976 recommended the RRBs. So the primary objectives of RRBs including promoting financial inclusion. It means that we have to include all these people who are undeserved by the traditional banks. All right. Rural development. If the banking facility will available in the rural areas, it means that the credit lines or the investment will also be made in the rural areas, which will eventually lead to the rural development. Okay. Providing credit facilities to the rural household. It means that the small farmers who could not afford higher interest rates for loan for the agriculture for the traditional banks, but they could use the RRBs for getting the subsidized loan or loans at lower interest rate. Okay. And small scale entrepreneurs, it means that the entrepreneurs who are situated in the semi-urban areas, and they are also falls under the category of people who could not bear the high interest rate, so they could also take the help of the RRB to credit this to, you can say, they could also take the help of the RRB to facilitate their business by getting the credit lines. Okay. RRBs plays a vital role in supporting agriculture, agri-allied activities and other priority sectors as defined by the RBI. Okay. It means that they are not limited for the agriculture and the agri-allied activities of the rural and semi-urban areas, but they are also allowed or required to grant the loan for other priority sector lendings within their areas. Like if someone wants to take the loan for education, loan for education, okay, loan for infrastructure, all right, loan for clean energy, etc., then he or she could get the help of the regional rural banks. All right. Now, if we talk about the services offered, okay, what are the services being offered by the regional rural banks? So RRBs offers a wide range of banking and the financial services, including savings and the current accounts, okay, fixed deposits, recurring deposits, agriculture loans, crop loans, tractor loans, and small business loans. Okay, it means that they are also focusing on the traditional commercial banks works or bank services. Second, also focusing on specialized objectives like granting the agricultural loans, crop loans, tractor loans, and small business loans. They also facilitate government-sponsored schemes and subsidies, making it easier for rural residents to access financial assistance because they are under the control of the central government and the state government. So as I had told you, the government could easily use them to promote the government sponsored schemes. Alright, so that it will become easier for the rural residents to access the financial assistance. Okay. Thereafter, if we talk about the priority sector lending, then RRBs are mandated to fulfill a significant portion of their lending obligations in the priority sector, includes agricultural, small and medium enterprises, housing for economically weaker sections, educational loans, and more. Okay, so these are the main priority sector areas where RBI, you can say, where RBI guides the RRBs to grant loans or credit lines. Okay. This ensures that the RRBs contribute to the development of key sectors that are critical for rural and the semi-urban areas. Role in the rural development. Because they are specially designed for the regional rural areas. Okay, so they are actively participate in the rural development initiatives and provide financial support for infrastructure development. Okay, like they give the credit lines for the rural electrification, community projects like making of the roads, okay, like making of the parks, like making of the school, college, whatever is making by the authorities for the rural development. So the RRB provides the credit to them or provides the loan for rural and semi-urban development. Got it? They also collaborate with the government agencies and the NGOs to implement various rural welfare programs. Alright. Thereafter, the financial inclusion, as we have discussed already, plays a pivotal role in promoting financial inclusion by offering basic banking services such as no-frill accounts. It is also called as zero balance account. Okay, so what is the significance of this? Generally, if you go to the traditional banks, mostly time they ask you to maintain the fixed amount in your bank account. Okay, suppose you had opened your bank account with the XYZ. Alright, so XYZ said you having your saving account. In this account, at every point of time, the minimum balance should be rupees 10,000. If you are going below 10,000, then it means that you have breached the agreement. So you have to pay some fine to the bank. Okay, this is the scenario. But suppose if we have the person from rural or weaker section who wants to access the banking services by opening the saving account, but who is not capable to maintaining rupees 10,000 permanently in his bank account. So what should he do? So for that kind of person, there is a concept of no frills account or zero balance account. Okay, it means that there is no need for maintaining minimum balance. Got it? This is the concept of no frill accounts. And mobile banking, it means that the RRB is also having their mobile applications. Okay, so the customer who is a customer of the RRB could use the services by using the mobile applications. Okay, and the areas were basically the remote and the economical disadvantaged areas, which are generally not preferred by the other banks. Help in reducing the reliance on informal and unregulated financial channels. It means that, suppose if this is the farmer who wants rupees 4 lakhs as a loan, but the traditional bank is offering the loan at the 12%, and that farmer is not able to bear this kind of interest. Okay, so what he will do, he will generally go to the money lender or landlords for taking of the loan. Might be he get the loans below 12% interest rate, but generally it is about the you can say harsh loan timings, harsh loan agreements, you can say. Okay, it means that maybe his property will be taken by the money lender, or maybe something other thing or negative thing could be done by the money lender. All right, so for this kind of things, RRBs are preferred, so that that person, instead of taking the loan from this ones, could go to the RRBs, which will grant him rupees 4 lakhs at 6%, just an example. Okay, which is the lesser interest rate charging by the traditional bank. Okay, so this farmer could save himself from these harsh conditions and could easily get the loans. Okay, now challenges in front of the RRBs. Face challenges related to profitability, because they are dealing with the marginalized workers, economical weaker sections, so generally do not get a much profit to operate. Assets quality, sometimes the people defaulted who had taken the loan. And technological adaptation, because the technology offered by the RRBs are being offered to the people who who are the people of the remote areas. So it might be possible that the people are not able to use the technology properly, which will ultimately impact the RRBs working and the growth. Okay, however, they continue to evolve and adapt to meet the changing needs of rural customer. It means that whatsoever happening, still RRBs are trying to do their best thing. Okay, so overall, if we take the summary, so overall, regional rural banks are instrumental in ensuring that banking services reach the grassroots level in India, empowering rural communities with access to finance, credit, and economic opportunities. Their collaborative approach with the government and the other stakeholders contribute significantly to the country's rural development efforts. Okay, now this is the list. Okay, it is just for your general knowledge. If you want to learn these things, you can. And sometimes question also asked from this topic in the examination. Okay, so we have the Andhra Pradesh Gramin Vikas Bank, headquarters at the Hyderabad, established year was 1975. Thereafter, we have Arunachal Pradesh Rural Banks, headquarters at Itanagar, and established in 1989. All right. Thereafter, we have Assam Gramin Vikas Bank, headquarters at Guwahati, established in 1975. Thereafter, we have the Baroda Gujarat Gramin Bank, headquarters at Vadodara, established in 1975. Then we have Bengal Gramin Bank, headquarters at Kolkata, established in 1975. We have Bihar Anchalik Gramin Bank, headquarters at Patna, established in 1975. Thereafter, we have the Chhattisgarh Gramin Bank, headquarters at Raipur, established in 1982. Thereafter, we have the Goa Rural Bank, headquarters at Panji, established in 1982. Thereafter, we have the Haryana Gramin Bank, headquarters at Hisar, established in 1975. Thereafter, we have Himachal Pradesh Gramin Banks, headquarters at Shimla, established in 1975. Then we have Jammu and Kashmir Gramin Bank, headquarters at Jammu, established in 1975. Thereafter, we have Jharkhand Gramin Bank, headquarters at Ranchi, established in 1975. Thereafter, we have the Karnataka Gramin Bank, headquarters at Dharwad, established in 1975. We have Kerala Gramin Bank, headquarters at Mallapuram, established at 1975. Thereafter, we have the Madhya Pradesh Gramin Bank, headquarters at Bhopal, established in 1975. Thereafter, we have Manipur Rural Banks, headquarters at Imphal, established in 1975. Thereafter, we have the Maharashtra Gramin Bank, headquarters at Pune, established in 1975. We have Nagaland Rural Bank at Kohima, established in 1982. We have Nicobar Gramin Bank, headquarters at Port Blair, established in 1982. We have Northeastern Development Finance Corporation Limited, headquartered at Guwahati, established in 1977. Thereafter, we have the Punjab Gramin Bank, headquarters at Chandigarh, established in 1975. We have Rajasthan Marwad Gramin Bank, headquarters at Bikaner, established in 1975. Thereafter, we have the Sikkim Gramin Bank, headquarters at Gangtok, established in 1975. Thereafter, we have the Tamil Nadu Gram Vikas Bank, headquarters at Pudukkottai, established in 1975. Thereafter, we have the Telangana Gramin Bank, headquarters at Hyderabad, established in 2016. We have Tripura Gramin Bank, headquarters at Agartala, established in 1978. It is the most latest because Telangana was established as a state in which year? 2014, after the separation from Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so remember this thing. Thereafter, we have the Uttar Pradesh Gramin Bank, headquarters at Lucknow, established in 1978. We have Uttaranchal Gramin Bank, headquarters at Dehradun, established in 2005. We have West Bengal Gramin Bank, headquarters at Kolkata, established in 1978. We have Gaur Gramin Bank, headquarters at Gonda, established in 2005. We have Gorakhpur Kshetriya Bank, headquarters at Gorakhpur, established in 2005. We have Haryana Kshetriya Bank, established in Bhiwani, Haryana, established in 2005. We have Jaipur Nagpur Gramin Bank, headquarters at Jaipur, established in 2005. Okay. We have the Kaveri Gramin Bank, headquarters at Mysore, established in 2005. Nagpur is also the place in Rajasthan. Remember this thing. So do not assume that the Jaipur Nagpur Bank is working for Rajasthan and Maharashtra. Okay. Do not assume it. Nagpur is also the place in, you can say, Rajasthan. Okay. Thereafter, we have the Konkan Gramin Bank, headquarters at Thane, established in 2005. We have the Prathama Gramin Bank, Kathiar, Gujarat, established in the year of 2005. Okay. We have the Sambad Bank, headquarters at Hyderabad, established in 2005. We have the Saraswat Bank, headquarters at Indore, established in 2005. We have the Shivalik Gramin Bank, headquarters Dehradun, established in 2006. We have the Uttarakhand Gramin Bank, headquarters at Nainital, established in the year of 2006. Thereafter, we have the Vidarbha Gramin Bank, Amravati, established in 2006. It lies in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Okay. Thereafter, we have the Andhra Pragati Vikas Bank, Vijayawada, 2006 is a state of Karnataka. 2016, sorry. Okay. Thereafter, we have the Telangana Vikas Bank, lies at Hyderabad, established in 2016. Okay. So student, this is the complete list of the regional rural banks. So we can say there are total 43 regional rural banks in India. I have shared their name, their headquarters, and their establishing year. Okay, so in this lecture we have done with the regional rural banks. I hope that you have understood the concept properly. In the next lecture we will start with another important type of bank. Till then, just revise all the facts and figures we have discussed in this lecture and be ready for the another lecture. With this note, let's end this lecture and thank you.